Good afternoon, makers. This is Miss Michele here from the Creation Station, La Quinta's Makerspace. If you're just tuning in right now, today we're going to be working on DIY magic wands. Now this is a project that I did a few years ago with my book fair crew when I was working at a middle school. We had a Harry Potter themed book fair, and we decided that we were going to make our own magic wands. So today I'm going to show you step by step how we made those wands. And as you can see, I have a few wands that we made in the past, if you want to take a look at. We have this one right here is probably my favorite. This one is pretty simple, not much done to it, but at the end you can see there's a little bit of an intricate design to it. This one's really cool. This one's more like a fire theme. We did an ombre effect from red to orange with a yellow tip, and then you can see some gold designs on there. But you can do several different designs. It pretty much just depends on the type of paper that you're using, on how long your wand is going to be, and also how you use your hot glue. That's going to create a lot of personality in your wand. So today we're going to start from scratch. So we're going to head and move these off of here. So how do you make a wand? So first things first is that you're going to need a piece of paper. So today what we're using is we're using regular printer paper. So it's 8.5 by 11. You can also use really long paper if you have it. Construction paper works really well too. Whatever you have available is good. So once you have your paper, what you're going to need next is you're going to need an instrument to make your wand shape. Now you can use different sizes. Like I have a chopstick here. It has a really small start at the end here, and then it kind of gets a little bit wider, and that gives you more of like a tapered effect with your wand. So I have one that's kind of done so it looks like this when I use the chopstick. So it's a really small end here, and it gets wider at the edge there. The next thing that you can use that pretty much anyone has is a pencil. It's very easy to use. You can use it to make a tapered effect, or if you want to make it all the same width, you can use that. If you want to make fatter wands, I use this mascara tube. It works really well for making really fat wands like this one right here. I made this morning. So it all depends on what type of instrument you want to use to make your shape. So today what I'm going to use is I'm going to use just the regular pencil. So with the pencil, you can basically make your shape from any section. If you want, you can do it like this, where it's just an 11-inch wand, or you can do it from this end, where it's an 8.5-inch wand and you just roll it across, or you can do it from the corners. Personally, I like to do the corners because it can make my wand a little bit longer. It can also give it a more of a tapered effect by doing it that way. So all you need to do is find the corner of your piece, and we're going to wrap it around our pencil like so. Alright. And you just want to kind of pinch it and hold it in place. It doesn't have to be completely tight. It can be a little bit loose. But as you go, I kind of like to move my pencil a little bit on the outside like that, just so that I know the pencil's not going to be stuck. So keep going, keep moving that pencil. Alright, and now you see I'm kind of getting a little bit of a tapered edge over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start gluing my edges. And how I'm going to glue my edges is you can use regular white glue, but today I'm going to use this two-way glue. It goes on blue and dries clear, and I use this a lot in my card making stuff. So all you have to do is just put a little bit of glue here on the edge as you're wrapping it, and kind of make sure you press it down so it sticks. And you only want to do a little bit at a time. If you do too much, the glue will dry too fast, and that's not good. It's not going to stick, and it might come unraveled when you take everything out. Alright. So definitely need two hands. If you need help, get a parent's help to do that. But you just want to add a little glue here, and then at the top here we're starting to wrap around, so we're going to add a little glue there, and then just keep adding that glue. Alright, and as you can see, my wand's getting pretty long, which is nice. I really like long wands because they're fun to, when you're doing spells, if you're doing LARPing or cosplay, when you make a spell cast, it looks really cool when it's got a really long wand. But short ones are cool too. You can do a lot with them. I like to do kind of earthy type wands when I have the short fat ones. It can make it look like a tree branch. It's really cool. Alright. So once we have our wand all done, you want to make sure that you hold the end just for a few seconds. I'm going to re-glue that so it sticks. And then you just take the pencil out. Alright. So this is going to be the shape of our wand. I think it's going to look really cool. It has a cool little twirl effect right here at the top and the bottom. However, I only want to have one edge with this little kind of pointed edge to it. The other side, I'm going to cut it straight, flat. So all you do is take a pair of scissors, make sure it's nice and flat, and snip that off. So now I have, this is going to be my end right here, the very tip, and this is going to be my back, where I hold it, for my hand, like that. Alright. So once we have that all set, you can paint the whole thing and then add the hot glue. But today I'm going to do the hot glue first. So what I like to do is I like to start with the base. And there's two different methods that you can do. You can put like a whole bunch of glue on here, which I've done, and kind of sculpt it with hot glue. Or there's also kind of a technique that is similar to glass blowing, where you put a bunch of glue right here, and then you blow hot air or your own air through here, and kind of as you're rotating it, it kind of makes a little bulb appear. And that's how this one that was made. This one was done with the glass blowing kind of technique, where I blew air as I spun and added more hot glue to it, and it gave it that cool kind of crystal-like effect on the edge. So for today, I think I'm just going to sculpt this. So all I need to do is get my hot glue, and I like to use a low temperature hot glue because that seems to cool a lot faster. It's also a little bit more safer if you're younger to work with, but you always want to make sure that when you're using a glue gun, a hot glue gun, that you have parental supervision, just because we don't want to burn ourselves. That's not a good thing. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we are going to add our glue to the edge here. And I like to just kind of spin it around as I go. Actually, I'm going to go around the edges first. And then I'm going to hold this at an angle. And the way I do that, why I do that, is because I don't want my glue to go inside of my wand. I just kind of want it to droop a little bit, if that makes any sense. I want to kind of give it a shape. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of spin it around and make sure that it's not getting too low. Alright. So has anyone made a wand before? I like to make these a lot. I am a cosplayer, so I do like to dress up in costumes. I haven't done a Harry Potter cosplay, but it is one thing I'd like to do sometime in the future. Alright. So it does take a little patience, a little practice to kind of get it going. And actually, it's not too bad. And it's kind of curving over a little bit. I don't know if you can kind of see a little hook right there. That kind of gives it a little bit more of a character to it. And you can tilt it, use gravity to make your shape. And we're going to wait till it just cools off a little bit longer. So as you can see, it's a little bit of a different background today. I'm actually working in my craft room at home. What I'm using when I make my cards is this little glass base, and it helps for cleanup a lot. Alright, so it looks like we're getting to the point that it's going to be pretty hard. Well, it's still a little bit goopy here. So we're going to use gravity to kind of help make our shape. So what kind of projects have you guys been working on? If you want to share with us or send pictures, go ahead and send it to us through Facebook. Let us know. We're always interested in seeing what people are working on. Alright. So I just blew a little air into it to make it a little bit more big. You don't have to blow too much, because if you blow too much, you'll pop it and you might get hot glue all over yourself, which isn't really nice. Alright, so I'm just going to touch up. We're still a little bit sticky, so I'm going to just put a little hot glue on there. And you can use the tip of your hot glue gun to kind of help form it. It is a little bit warm, so it will melt the glue a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to just put some more here on the edge just to kind of blend it into the wand a little bit. Just like that. And just bring it in, and I'm kind of painting it with my hot glue gun here. Alright. So we're getting a little bit of a character here. It's kind of pointy. It's kind of curved. I like the shape of how this is turning out. It kind of reminds me of a bird almost. So it looks like it's got the little beak right there. So maybe I might do something with, this is where I kind of get ideas for how I want to paint it. So for this one, I'm thinking maybe I might do like some blues or purples to kind of give it like a bluebird, maybe. Maybe a character I want to do is something with levitation or wants to float something. So I'm going to try and just make some shapes on here that kind of remind me of birds or flight. Wingardium Leviosa. That kind of stuff. Alright. So you don't have to have a set shape, because it's very hard to kind of control glue, especially a hot glue. So I'm just kind of making some shapes to give this character for when I do my final painting. So I kind of like how this is. I might go in and smooth out the tip a little bit. So once I've got that edge done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the tip now, the very end, the point that's going to be pointed away from me. So I'm just going to add some glue there. And I'm actually going to kind of do this at an angle. So I'm kind of tilting my wand down a little bit. And I'm just going to twirl this around as I'm using the glue. And just give it kind of a little bit of a squirt there at the end. And then I'm going to use gravity to kind of help make it shape. So I'm going to spin it a little bit as I'm pointing down. And I'm going to do that for a little bit. Alright. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a tip shape here. It's going to kind of expand the edge and make it a little bit longer. Alright. I'm just checking to see if the end's going to fall, and it's going to fall just a little bit. So we're going to keep spinning it for a little bit more. And I'm just going to blow some air on it to kind of help harden up the glue a little bit faster. Alright. So let me just check real quick here. Still a little bit tacky, but I think it's going to, because we didn't use a whole lot of glue, I think it should be okay and help keep it shape. Alright, so once we've got our initial ends done, now is the part where you can use the hot glue to decorate the rest of your wand. So I'm getting kind of low on my glue sticks here, so I'm going to load up my glue gun, or I'm going to get ready for that. And then what I kind of like to do for myself personally is there's a little spiral created by the paper. Sometimes I'll put my glue gun there and follow the lines, or you can even have, like on this one with the kind of the yellow coming out of it, you can also have it look like a candle kind of dripping, or the magic's dripping out that way. But for this one that we're going to do today, I'm going to do a little bit of a spiral. It's going to go from here, from the very tip, all the way to about right here. And then I'm going to change up the spirals once we get to that point. Alright, so we're going to start here. Going to find the edge. Alright, and I'm just going to, as I press on the glue gun, I'm going to spin the wand. And that doesn't have to be exact. It kind of gives it more of a natural appearance to it. This is going to be more of an elemental air wand, so it's okay for it to be not completely perfect. And perfection, it's hard to achieve. The imperfections give things character. That's what I like. Now remember, I'm using low temperature hot glue. That's going to make it harden a little bit quicker. You can use high temperature, but I recommend that if you don't mind holding your wand for a couple minutes, because it's going to take a lot longer for the glue to cool down. Okay, so it looks like I'm getting near the end of that glue stick, so I'm going to pop in a little bit more. Alright. Alright. So I've got a little bit of a spiral going on there. That's going to add a little bit character to it. And then I got to this corner point right here. Just touch that up a little bit. And now I'm going to change up the spiral. It's a little bit of a closer spiral than it was on the top. So I'm going to do the same technique, only I'm going to be moving a little bit closer together with that spiral. So I don't know if you guys know, but we have started a blog on Blogspot, LQ Creation Station. We're going to be posting stuff like where we get our materials for 3D printing, where we get our stuff for laser cutting, updates on technology in the world, all sorts of fun, interesting stuff, so you can follow along. We'll also be posting stuff that we've made while we've been staying at home. So make sure you follow us on Blogspot, and if you have any questions about topics or you want to see different types of projects, let us know. If it's something that we can do, we'll be happy to definitely show you or answer questions and stuff like that. Alright. So again, be careful. You want to make sure that you try not to burn your hands. It can be very hot. You want to try and avoid doing that while you're working with glue. Alright, getting close to the end here. Alright. So while that's drying, it looks pretty cool. That's our basic shape. We got a lot of spirals happening here. You might see there's some stuff that's kind of flaking off. You want to wait till the glue is fully dry before you start peeling that, otherwise you might mess up where the glue's at. Alright. So I'm just removing the threads because when I paint, I kind of don't want to paint over the little thready parts of the glue. I mean, you can, it might look really cool. Oh, so a little bit not dry all the way yet down there. All right. So we're pretty much done with the construction phase. Now all that we need to do is we need to paint our wand. So we're just going to sit that down for right now. And I think I'm going to do a couple of shades of blue. So I have some acrylic. I like to use acrylic for this project just because it kind of gives it a little extra coating when it dries. It almost feels like hard plastic once you have a fully dried acrylic on there. So I'm going to use a couple shades that I have here. Very limited right now. I don't have all the paints that I normally work with, but I have a few that should hopefully get me through today. So just going to fill up my paint palette here with some colors. Alright. So I got some blues. I'm going to add a little bit red that I can mix with some of these blues because I want to get some purples in there. Alright. I'm going to do a little bit of this blue with it. And I'm going to add some white just to bring a little bit light to that. And just a section of white itself. All right. So once we have that all set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up the purples, or the purple color. All right, we'll mix that up. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to that just to kind of give it a little bit more pinkish purple. Just a tiny bit. Alright. A little bit more white. Alright. So we got our colors ready to go. And I'm going to start with purple first. And then I'm going to work myself up to lighter colors of blue. Alright. So I'm going to start, I want to have this be the darker side here, and then this is going to be the lighter side. So I'm going to start with my purple, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paint that right on. Go ahead and paint it over the glue. We're going to do that. And it doesn't have to be pretty, we're just putting the first coat on. You could put several coats if you want to. It all depends on the time that you want to put into your wand and everything like that. But I'm painting right on top of the glue sticks here, getting into the little crevices so we don't miss any parts. Alright. Get in there. Alright, there we go. Okay. Get all the little areas, little nooks and crannies. Don't want to miss any of that. Okay, and so I'm going to start adding my blue in here. Now I'm going to keep the purple on there, but I'm going to kind of blend it with the purple. Blend, blend, blend. Gonna mix a little bit of purple with the blue. Just to kind of give it a little ombre effect. I love ombre. What color combinations do you guys like? Do you like the purple to blues? Do you like oranges and reds? Different shades of green. There's all sorts of fun stuff that you can do. I'm just bringing that color back into the purple. Just kind of making sure that there's some tones of blue in there. Alright, it's looking good. some more purple with that. Add a little bit of blue. There you go. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it. Just blend that into the color so you get a nice gradient there. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit low on blue. I'm going to add a little bit more of this darker blue. It looks like it is ultramarine blue. Ooh, yeah, this is looking nice. Alright, so I'm getting closer to the edge. I'm going to start going with the lighter blue now. This one is called a cobalt blue. Alright, so you can also add a little bit of white to that, not too much. We don't want it to be too pale just yet. But we want to be able to make sure that it's got a, you can see a little bit of a shade difference between the ultramarine and the cobalt. Cobalt. That's a hard word. Cobalt. I'm just bringing this color in, bringing in a little bit of the cobalt to the ultramarine just to kind of make sure that it's all blending in together. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of white with that. And we're going to make it a little bit lighter now. We're going to start getting it lighter. Bring in a little bit more of that cobalt just to blend it in. It's looking good. I'm liking it. Alright, so we're going to do the palest light up here. So we're going to add a lot of white. You notice I haven't cleaned my brush just because if I clean my brush, I get rid of all those tones from the other section, so it loses all that purple that was in there. It loses the ultramarine, it loses the cobalt. So I'm not cleaning my brush. This is a kind of a dirty brush effect just because I want to make sure that I'm able to have the underlying tone of my beginning color, the purple, all the way through. Alright. Okay, so I think we're pretty good on this. Just gonna mix in some darker blues down the way, but I think we're pretty much done. I might do some touch up with the purple down here though. I see some parts where my hands got in the way. And some white where I forgot to coat it. That happens. But overall, I think this is one nice looking wand. I'll put some more purple here. All right, so we have that done. I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit. And I'm going to get ready for the next step, which I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the glue that is now fully dry. It shouldn't be tacky at all. You want to make sure that the glue is fully dry before you do the next step, which we're going to paint the glue. And I like to do in what's called an accent color. So the accent color I'm using today is going to be silver. So I'm just going to drop this into my little palette here. Alright, and you want to make sure that you kind of have a little bit of a finer bristle brush. I'm going to use this one here that I used to mix the purple. Just make sure I get it all nice and clean. And then I'm just going to start painting the glue. So it's going to give it kind of an effect where it looks like the magic is coming out of the edge here and spiraling around the wand. And this will probably take the longest part if you want to be very careful and follow the glue. Gold is a good accent color too, or if you're using one family, like if you're using yellows and stuff like that, you could do blue, which kind of is a contrasting color, just something so it's a little bit obvious that something is coming out. But yeah, take your time. Go around, give it a little cool effect. Or if you want, you can leave it unpainted. If you saw my blue one, I did leave the very edge of the handle unpainted. It kind of gave it that Ice Queen look to it, which is really cool. But yeah, we're just going around, spinning it as I'm painting. This is really nice. So ones can take anywhere from like 5 minutes to a really quick one if you just don't want to do all the details, to a couple hours. And this is just made out of paper. So it's very easy to do at home. Do it with the whole family. And when you're all done, you can have a spelling duel where you, just like in Harry Potter and I think it was I want to say the Chamber of Secrets, I think it was that, when they had the dueling class with the wands. Yeah, so you can try them out, have some fun with them, get crazy, get creative, make it your own. I had some of my students put their names in glue on it. They wanted to have it personalized like that. You can get really cool with the edges. You can have a really big hook. I had one student who really wanted the Elder wand that Dumbledore had, and that one took us about 3 days because we had to do huge little spheres of glue on there, and we had to wait several minutes for it to glue. So it took us about 3 days just with the glue to make the wand, and then it took about a day for him to paint it. But it was spectacular. I love that wand, and he was so happy with it, and he carried it everywhere with him throughout the book fair. It was amazing. But yeah, if you want, you can go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, take a look at all the different character wands, and then you can try and recreate them at home. Just be careful. Remember, parental supervision if you need that, especially with working with the hot glue. And then, yeah. Alright, so we're getting close to done here. You can see it's starting to show up, that silver on there. Nice little effect. And you want to do nice thin coats of paint when you're painting. If you do really thick coats, it's going to take a long time to dry. So really thin, quick coats. Yeah. And also, working with paper, if you have it too wet, it can become really soggy and fall apart. So that's why I recommend doing the quick coats too. Getting close to the edge here. Alright, so I did all my spirals, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I like to call my little bird. A little bird on the end here. I made my little wings. Alright, I'm going to switch over here. I'm just throwing it on really quick. I'll probably do a couple more coats later on, but I'm just going to do one coat today for the MakerCraft Live, and then I'll probably post a finished one when I'm all done. I'll probably add some glitter to it because I love glitter and I love sparkles, so I might bedazzle it a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You just want to make sure that you get it all coated to however you like. You can customize it. I might put some eyes on here to make it look like a little tiny bird. But yeah, so that's it. That's how you can make your own magical wand at home. Today we used acrylic paint to color it, hot glue, definitely low temperature hot glue, regular printer paper, and then a pencil or some kind of round object to create your wand shape, and then some glue to make sure that your wand shape is closed. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us here on Facebook or at our blog, or Twitter account or Instagram. We do check those every day, so we hope to see you guys posting stuff that you've made. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying at home, and you guys take care. Alright, we'll see you later.